The big beautiful bill.
Tonight, on the heels of President Trump signing his massive domestic policy bill into law.
What is it really? And what did it mean for every day? Americans and for the country's financial future.
On this bill, not undocumented people, not quote-unquote the disgusting term illegal, but 17 million Americans will have their health care cut from this bill. On this point of tax on tips, as one of the only people in this body who has lived off of tips, I want to tell you a little bit about the scam.
Imagine waking up one day to find more money in your paycheck, but also noticing higher prices at the grocery store. What happened?
In a few moments, we're going to make official the greatest victory yet when I sign the one big, beautiful bill.
Welcome to the world of tax cuts. But first, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Let me tell you, what is the big beautiful bill? In December 2017, the US Congress passed a major piece of legislation known as the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Trump dubbed it his big beautiful bill, promising economic growth, job creation and tax relief for American families and businesses. Here is the beauty of this bill. Corporate tax cuts, the biggest move to cut the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%. Individual tax reductions, most personal income tax brackets were lowered slightly, doubling the standard deduction, a simplified way to reduce taxable income, which helped many households. Child tax credit expansion, families with children received more financial support. New deductions for businesses. Small businesses could deduct more, especially for equipment and investments. In short, the bill aimed to put more money into the hands of workers and business owners and let the economy take off. Advantages of the tax reform. Supporters of the bill pointed to several potential benefits. Economic growth. Shortly after the bill passed, the US economy saw a boost. Lower taxes gave businesses more cash to invest, expand and hire. More disposable income. Many Americans, especially in the middle class, saw slightly smaller tax bills, meaning more take-home pay. Corporate competitiveness. Lowering the corporate tax rate helped US companies compete more fairly with global businesses that were already paying less abroad. Disadvantages of the bill. However, critics quickly raised concerns, especially about its long-term impact. Growing the national deficit. By cutting taxes without matching spending cuts, the bill added an estimated $1.5 trillion to the national debt over a decade. Unequal benefits. While the middle class got modest tax relief, the wealthiest individuals and large corporations received the most substantial tax breaks. Temporary relief for individuals. Unlike the permanent corporate cuts, many of the benefits for individual taxpayers are set to expire after 2025 unless Congress renews them. How did people respond? The bill sparked strong and very different reactions across the country. Supporters called it a bold move that sparked job growth, increased wages, and restored American business strength. Critics argued that it prioritized the wealthy, worsened income inequality, and left future generations with more debt. Public opinion was sharply divided, often along party lines, with Republicans mostly in favor and Democrats largely opposed. Here is something to think about. Why would people criticize this big, beautiful bill? Although a tax cut sounds great in theory, who doesn't want to keep more of their income? But here's the catch. When the government collects less money, how does it pay? For everything? The US federal budget covers things like national defense, healthcare like Medicare and Medicaid, infrastructure, education, social security. If tax revenues go down and spending stays the same, the government runs a budget deficit. So how does the government cover that gap? It borrows more, increasing the national debt. It prints more money, which can lead to inflation. It cuts services, affecting programs people rely on. And that brings us to a key concern: inflation. When too much money chases too few goods, prices rise. And while your paycheck may be bigger due to tax cuts, it might not go as far at the store or gas pump. Long-term impact: what's ahead? In the short term, the big beautiful bill created an economic boost. But over time, the picture becomes more complicated. Experts worry about ballooning federal debt, which could hurt future growth; higher inflation if the government continues to rely on borrowing or printing money; fewer resources for future public investments like education, clean energy, or infrastructure. Ultimately, tax policy is a trade-off. Every cut today must be paid for, either through borrowing, future taxes, or reduced services. The Congressional Budget Office estimates the bill could add $3.3 trillion to federal deficits over the next 10 years and leave millions without health coverage. Conclusion: so here is the fruit for thought. The answer depends on your perspective. If you were a corporation or a high-income earner, it may have felt like a win. If you're thinking long-term about debt, inflation, and national priorities, the picture is far more mixed. So next time you hear talk of a big, beautiful bill, ask yourself who pays who. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, whether you're for it, against it, and do not forget to like, subscribe, and share, let me tell you.